Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? I'm back at it with another one. I feel like this video, I just had to, make this. I feel like it's a very pure video. Most of my past videos have been just like giving y'all tips and just like advice on like life, just like rambling. But this video is different. So basically, I don't know if y'all watched my first video. Most of y'all have, I'm guessing, because that's my most viewed video. But I learned and had the time, gratefully, I'm grateful to have the time and to have the bright brain and the motivation to learn the skill of copywriting. Copywriting is basically, the art of persuasion through words. The art of convincing someone through copy, through text. More specifically, how to write words that generate sales, how to write words that catch people's eyes and people's attention, sorry. And that's what I learned, for businesses, for gyms, for contractors, all these small businesses who have ads out there, and basically their ads are boring to read. They're not convincing. They're not persuading, because keep in mind, sales, you want to sell something, you want to sell a service, you want to sell a product, you want to sell your word, you want to sell yourself to women, you want to acquire women, you have to be persuasive. You have to master the art of persuasion, persuading people, what it is, what does it do, how does it benefit you, what are the benefits, what is it exactly? And I can tell you guys in quick words, persuasion is basically where, let's say I'm talking to you, right? You're watching this video of mine. Now, I can either decide to be very boring and just plain blatantly blah, 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 spit out a bunch of words, or I can say them in a way, or say certain words in certain manners with certain body language, which will keep you here watching my video, always wondering what the next minute, the next second has to offer. That's persuasion. I caught you right there by doing that. For example, let's say you're selling a shoe. Let's say more importantly, you're selling a shoe cleaner, and you want to put an ad on Facebook. You want to put an ad on this, and that. And your ad is plain, blatant, and boring to the point where it only says, new shoe cleaner, 50% off for this week. Boom. Okay, 50% off, new shoe cleaner. Okay, cool. Like, that's boring. Instead, you can turn that ad in more persuasive and saying, for example, you can write in the ad, this is all about copywriting, so it's all about the copy. But what you can put in as the ad, you can say, well, are you tired of having dirty shoes? Do you not have the time to wash your shoes? Well, that's why the shoe cleaner is here. Quick and efficient. One thing. No. Already, I caught your eye right there by saying, do you have time to clean your shoes? No, you don't. Do you always go outside in this poor Montreal weather and always get stains on your shoes? Yes, you do. So what are you going to look for? A solution. And my first 2 sentences already got you right there. So that is persuasion. That is kind of what copywriting is. It's what it is, basically. Now, why I want to learn this is because a lot of people these days are not practicing the skill. And I feel like it's a skill where you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about other people. You effectively learn how to make money quicker than your 9-to-5 job. And it's more fun than working a job, to be honest, because like I said in my last video, why is it more fun? Because you're doing this for yourself, right? your own copywriting business, your own freelancing side hustle, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's your thing. 100% of the money that comes from whatever it comes from doing that is going into your pockets. You know, unless you want to, whatever it is coming into your pockets first, and then it goes wherever it goes, right? Not through a guy supervising you, you're up, the CEO, whatever. Nah, that's not what this channel is about. It's not what it's about. It's about making your own money. That's what we're here to do, make our own money. Not take a little petty change of a check of like a few hundreds out of a few billions. That's not what we're here for. Our life is not worth a few hundreds to put it to, you know what I'm trying to say? No, we're here to make our own money. We're here to make our own hundreds, our own thousands, our own hundreds of thousands, our own millions. That's what this channel is about. That's what this skill of copywriting can bring you. Just like any other online money making skill, this is one of them. Now you can say it's easy. I want to say it's easy, but it's not easy, and I'll get into that in a second right here. But yet again, like I said, this is kind of my own journey. Not my own journey. This is a video more explaining about what I've been doing, of what I've been kind of not going through, but my journey so far as a copywriter. There you go. Now you guys, now that there might be some hidden advice in the video, feel free to open your notebooks and write that down. I already gave y'all some free game about what copywriting is, what it can do for you, what it is, what persuasion is, and how persuasion is beneficial to you in a lot of aspects in your life. Now, before I get into this is a skill where you just need time in your day. But like I said, I'm not here to teach you guys this skill. I'm just here to show y'all, you know, my journey through it so far. And in order to tell you guys that, I gotta explain to you guys what it is, so you guys just don't click off the video. So yeah, so I explained y'all what copywriting is. So, and obviously, first, I think step is opening your laptop, looking for businesses, and calling. You know, so I've been doing that, you know, this morning, this whole afternoon, actually. I've been looking for poor Facebook ads. I've been looking for Facebook businesses, you know, contracting businesses with poor ads. Very bad ads, you know, look like the owner did it themselves. The owner did not invest no money into his ad campaign or nothing. And, you know, I was looking for ads like this, and I found a few, and I grabbed the phone and I started cold calling. You know, I cold called them. Beginner's luck, you can say, on the first call or whatever. The dude was a bit convinced. Basically, I called him. You know, it was a cool conversation. And, you know, as me knowing I'm a beginner in this business, you know, just to put my foot in this field, what I did was, you know, I saw one of his ads actually, and I already had it ready with my work. I had already switched a copy of it. I had already made it more persuading by a little bit. I had made it better. And I called the guy and I'm like, what's up? You know, I ain't say what's up, but, you know, I called him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm interested in your business. Is this what you do? He said, yeah. I called him. Well, I'm already on the call, but, you know, and I told him, you know, well, I can help your business get more sales, more leads, you know, just explaining him how beneficial my services can be. Like I said, I'm not the expert here telling you guys how to do it, as this is only my day one, or not day one, because I spent some time learning the skill. But, you know, on my part, I have been lazy on starting it. But today, you know, I thought about my video that I dropped yesterday and said, you know what, today I'm going to get up, grab my phone, open the laptop, and do something about it, take action. And that's what I did. So please don't take this as a learning video. Take this as a video through like I said, this is my journey, right? And this channel is all about helping each other grow. There's some videos where I give advice, some videos where it's just what I've been doing. And you can learn from that too. So just to let you guys know here, what I'm saying on the phone, I am clearly making mistakes and it can be better. So don't call me out on it. I know, guys, I'm actively getting better. But if you guys are more experienced in cold calling and businesses, please comment down below on what I can improve. Based off what I'm saying, obviously, of course, because you guys are not here listening to the phone calls. But so I was calling that. So I called him. I said, "Is this the company?" No. He said, "Yeah, this is the company." I said, "Well, this is what I do. This is what I can do for you. I can make your ads better." I told him in more, polite words, more professional way that your ads were bad. They were shit. So he said, "Yeah, well, how much you charge?" I told him, I only charge a very, very small fee. Obviously a small beginner's fee. I'm not gonna go in the hundreds right away. No, that's not. I'm not gonna let greed get in my way. You cannot be greedy when you're starting a business at all. When you want to start a business, is something you really got to think about helping the people or really working in the field. Getting your work to 100, then you can think about being greedy when you added value to your business, to your work or whatever. Right now, it got no value for me. I don't got no clients yet. So I told this dude, like, look, bro, like, all right, I charge a small fee, but, for the first time, I'll give you a free sample of this. And at first he was like, "What's your company? Where you from?" He was very skeptical. He didn't know who I was or nothing. And I told him, like, look, bro, like, I can give you, that's why I'm here, to give you a free sample in the beginning. I took down his ad. I told him I'll call you back. I went home because I was doing this in my car, right? I was looking for businesses in my car, just chilling. So I went home, I worked on his ad, and I sent it back to him, through his number, through his email. And he was like, man, I can do this myself. There's nothing special about this. Well, if you can do it themselves, then why aren't your ads like that? Why are your ads boring? Why you only have 100 followers in your business? You're just telling me, I'm seeing that you're not getting enough sales. It's just how it is. There's gonna be some people you call out there that are, that are gonna think that they can do what you offer themselves, and those are people who have not yet realized the value of your skill until they feel that, like, their business is drowning and they're not getting anything out of it. Then when they hit the rock bottom, when months and months have gone by and they're not making profit that much, then they might give you a call back, and that is the whole point. That was my whole point of him giving me my number, who I am, a little taste of what I do. Now, he didn't like it. He might have liked it. He won't admit it. Why he wouldn't admit it? Because that's him saying that, yeah, what I do is bad. And, every man has his ego. Every man has his pride. He's not going to admit what he does bad, especially as a business owner. But to succeed in life, you got to swallow your pride. And I'm no one here to say that, my services are 100% going to help him. But what I am trying to say is, he was telling me that he can do something by himself, but clearly from what I'm seeing, he cannot. Which is why he agreed to get something free from mine, right? But that was just the one client I called. He said, if ever I need you, I hit you back in the future. Cool, and so on. I kept calling. There was some people I encountered. They said that, first of all, when you call the business, sometimes the secretary answering. You do not want to talk to the secretary. You got to speak to the head honcho, the boss, the manager, the one who's paying the cha-ching to everybody. The top. You know what I'm saying? Who's at the top? You know what I'm saying? That's who you want to get into contact of. So some people, you might call them Mr. Little, secretary saying, "Hi, what can I do for you?" No. You ask them, can I speak to the responsible? Can I speak to your manager? Can I speak to the owner? Like, oh no, he's not available today. No. And then they'll ask you, well, can I leave a message? And you give them the message you want to leave, which is very short. I'm interested in the business. I want to speak to the owner about how I can fuel his business. They say, no, I'm not interested, as if they were the owner. I just know the business owner is going to be mad when the secretary tells him about that, because why? You never shoot down an opportunity when it comes to owning a business, when it comes to offering services or anything like that. And that's totally up to them. You just got to make sure you try to get into contact with the owner. I tried to do that. I couldn't get into contact. I left a little message as she asked, and so on, so I moved on. Then it came to a person I just got off the phone not too long ago with. Before I even finished my sentence, the dude said not interested and hung up. Just from that, I could tell that that's a man who's not open to listening. He's not ready to invest in his business. And yeah, my call might have been boring, but dude didn't even let me. Yeah, it was 2 seconds on the phone. Maybe the way I presented myself, I don't know. But like I said, this is my journey. And from the first call all the way to the last one, I did get better. More confidence in my speech. More of knowing what I got to say. How to present my free sample. All that. And dude just blatantly hung up. And I can tell from his page that, he's not he's not converting any clients. His ads are blatant, boring, and just not eye-catching. Nothing in his ad is telling me that I should go get that today, right? That's the whole point of persuasion and copywriting, right? How can my ad, how this ad do I make for somebody make the people reading the ad go and get their service right away, whatever the ad is advertising or whatever. So yeah, look here, guys, I've been on trying to look for ads and shit. I just been working, and this is the 5 to 9 we speak about. It's Labor Day. What do people do on Labor Day? Sit on the air and just eat food, do nothing, smoke, drink, chill with their friends, this and that. Nah, man, us as young people who want to get to where we want to be in life, we got to be working. And I got up and did that today, and oh my God, I feel so proud about myself. I actually feel like I'm actually trying, so yeah, man. I'm excited to see where this leads me. I'm excited to see where this brings me. Hopefully y'all were able to get something out of this video, and hope y'all have an amazing day. Stay lit, stay motivated. I'll see y'all in the next one, man.